Alright, so as you can see, my shelves are pretty much full of games here. I can't add any more games. I've been having too much success with Thrifting Throwdown. It's overflowing onto my windowsill. So basically, I really need to upgrade my game shelves, get a little bit more space in here, and have more room for more games. So that's why I'm undertaking this project. Alright, so we're back here in the game room. As you can see, I've taken down all the posters that were on the wall. Pretty much all I have to do at this point is patch those holes, and then tomorrow I'll pick up some lumber at the store and hopefully have these shelves put together before the end of the weekend. Fingers crossed. So yeah, I'll check back in after I've picked up the lumber. All right, another update for you. I'm back here in the game room. As you can see, I've cut the boards to length. I've got the uprights there. I've got the shelves there. I've got the cat there. The tools and my terrible drawing there. Next step, actually start assembling these shelves and hope it comes together somewhat decent. We'll see how it goes. Check back in a little bit. Another quick update. Managed to get exactly one screw driven, thanks in large part to my power drill dying immediately. So I've got that plugged in and charging. As you can see, Kara is here helping, sleeping, resting. She's very excited about all the wood in the house all of a sudden. So yeah, I'm gonna give the power drill a minute to recharge, jump back in, hopefully have something put together for the next update.
A few moments later.
Kara and I are back with another update. As you can see, I've got the first half of the shelving done. The boards are still over there for the rest of the shelving. I ran out of shelves a little early, so I had to go back. I also ran out of screws a little early. Pretty much had to go back and get 4 more of the 10-foot boards. Didn't calculate it correctly. So I'm gonna take a break for a while and then start putting together that second set of shelves. So in a hilarious turn of events, I had just finished assembling the second shelf when it collapsed and completely disassembled itself. So that's my status update. All right, back for another update. So I cleaned up the shelves that fell. I'm about to put those back together. I also ran back to the hardware store to get some longer screws to hopefully prevent that from happening again. I also got a bunch of these corner braces, so hopefully that'll add a little bit of horizontal stability to the shelf. So time to jump in, get the last shelf done, and hopefully come back and show you something a little bit more complete. All right, one final update before we wrap things up. As you can see, the shelves are fully assembled. They don't look too bad. There's a few spots that I think could have turned out a little bit better, but all things considered, I kind of rushed it, so I think it turned out pretty well. I'm gonna paint it up, get some games on it, and then I'll let you see the final product, so hang tight. All right, I'm standing here outside of my game room getting ready to do the big reveal of my updated game room. And I just had to give a special mention to this, I don't know, screw adapter, this power drill adapter. It saved my butt. I needed to attach my shelves to the wall and I could not get the power drill to fit. And this thing, which if you remember, and you've been around for a while, you've seen as part of my Wish unboxing video, actually got used for the first time, and I was able to attach these shelves to the wall. So special mention to this thing.
It's an inanimate carbon rod!
Now let's get rid of it. All right, here we go. You ready for the reveal? 3, 2, 1. All right, friends, welcome to the game room. As you can see, we have just wrapped up episode 115 of Thrifting Throwdown. We've got the massive pile of games, we've got the massive pile of stuff, and we've got the game shelves, which are bursting at the seams. Got games stacked on their sides up there. That's just showing just how massively packed these shelves are at the moment. So wanted to give you a quick look at what the shelves look like currently, because as you know, based on the title of this video, we're about to do a room tour of the brand new game room after I've had a chance to fix it up, get it all nice and cleaned up for you so you can see the official debut of the brand new game room. So, whew, I've got my work cut out for me, but let's get this game room tour underway because I am so thrilled to show you the new game room. All right, real quick, just wanted to give you a glimpse into the partially torn apart game room here. This place is looking a little bit different, I think. Check it out. Bare walls, haven't seen that in a long time. We've got the stack of PlayStation games here pulled out to the middle of the room and roped off, tied to the thing. I didn't want that to fall over on the kitty, right, Kara? Yeah, so different seeing the room torn down in this way. You know, it's not something that I've seen for a very long time because obviously, normally, the room is filled with stuff like this, you know? You've got games, which, by the way, huge stack of games, had to shove it out of the way here. I've got more in the closet, more in a different closet, so I'm just like shoving stuff wherever I can, trying to get this to work. But the good news is I've started assembling the shelves. I am getting them painted. I'm getting them all cleaned up. They're going to look so cool. I'm so excited for them. Perfect. But funny enough, I was actually thinking about this. This isn't even the first time that I've redone these shelves because originally I added the shelves that are behind me. I also added this set of shelves back here. And I originally made a whole different video for all of you and was planning on releasing it as, you know, a little vlog, but never got around to doing it. So I think I'm just going to throw some of that footage in here so you can see the transformation from the first iteration of the game room into the current game room before we, you know, reveal the brand new Dabstroyero game room while I go get some more painting done. All right, so I know last time I checked in, we were in the game room, and that feels like just minutes ago in terms of this video, but in reality, that was several days ago, and I've been working so dang hard. I actually used up all of the wood already, had to go out and buy more wood, so I've got a whole nother stack there. You can see my chaos of a setup here with the saw. We've got the sanding, we got the painting, we got some boards in progress, more painting going on over here. You can also see the old shelves all torn apart. RIP to those things. Got to figure out what I want to do with that scrap wood now. But yeah, making pretty good progress. I would say I'm about 50% done, or maybe a little bit less than that, depending on how things shake out. But making good progress, and you know, I think next time I check in with you will be the unveiling of the new room. So I'm gonna get back to it. I'm gonna put another coat of paint on these boards. I'm gonna see what else I can do before I call it a night. And yeah, then it'll be almost time to unveil the brand new game room. I'm so freaking excited to show off the new game room I'm putting together. All right, friends, I am standing outside of the game room as we speak, and I am so dang excited to unveil to you my brand new updated game room. It took a lot of woodworking, a lot of effort, a lot of organizing, and a lot of logging of these games, but I can finally now reveal to you my brand new game room. Before I do that though, please join my tag team by hitting that subscribe button down below so you can be here for all of my game hunting shenanigans. But without further ado, I think it's time for the big reveal. So here it is, friends, the all-new game room. You just got that nice little look as I panned through some of the highlights for you, but I want to take a much deeper dive, show you exactly what I'm working with here, because clearly there is a lot going on in this game room. There's a lot here that we need to talk about. Okay. And I think straight away I want to start off with the consoles here, because this is the focal point of the room. And if you remember my console stand from the last version of the game room, this one has much more space available, can fit many more consoles, and it even looks like I've got some room to grow here, so I'm so excited about that. But the other great thing is most of these consoles are hooked up, or at least enough of them are hooked up that I can represent almost every generation of gaming. So I'm going to run through real quick for you what is hooked up here. So we've got the Nintendo Wii hooked up, PS1 not hooked up, NES hooked up, PS2 Slim hooked up, PS3 hooked up, the awesome green Nintendo 64. This thing is such a gem in my collection. This thing is hooked up and ready to go for some gaming fun. We've got another PS2 not hooked up. We've got the GameCube, which is hooked up and ready to go. One of the Wii U consoles is hooked up and ready to go, so we've got some Wii U action on deck. We've also got the Sega Genesis ready and willing for some Sonic the Hedgehog action, so that is exciting. And as I'm going through these consoles, one thing you might notice, you're not seeing a lot of cables here, because that was one of my main goals with this console setup. I did not want to see cables at all. So in a few minutes, I'm actually going to show you the cable management behind this console stand. So you're definitely going to be excited to see what I did behind the scenes there. Nerd! But moving right along, we've got another Sega Genesis. Don't need two of those hooked up, but I do have the Xbox 360 hooked up. The Retron, I might hook that one up later, but for now, I do have the Super Nintendo hooked up, and I'm so excited to be able to play my Super Nintendo games again. And that rounds things out, because I did not hook up the Atari, the Xbox, nor did I hook up the extra Xbox 360, but we have got a nice selection of games there, and like I said, room to grow as well, which is the best part, because I know there are some consoles I need for this console stand. So if there's something you know I'm missing, let me know down in the comments below. Let me know which console I need to complete this collection. Okay. Of course, as always, I've got that awesome big TV that takes up a lot of space. That thing is hooked up to a bunch of cables. We will show you that in a moment. I think the next thing I want to do is start going through section by section and showing you what we're working with here. So in this first section down at the bottom, we've got my loose Nintendo cartridges. Those things are taking up a whole section by themselves. And then even better, we're getting into some GameCube games. My GameCube game collection has exploded after the last episode of Thrifting Throwdown, because I added so many banger titles into the collection. You're seeing them there. You're seeing Mario Party 7, brand new to the collection. Mario Golf, pretty sure that's brand new to the collection. So many new additions just from that one game haul. But of course, if we are talking GameCube pickups, there's only one that comes to mind as my absolute biggest pickup, and you are seeing it right here. Go frickin' Hyper Grind. And as you know, we picked up this $600 game for $1 at a yard sale. One of my all-time best scores, and as you can see, it is partially sealed, so that is really dang cool and such an amazing addition to the collection. We never would have added this if we weren't going out to yard sales. All right, so real talk, last year when I was here, there was a really rare game mixed in, and I completely missed it. People pointed it out in the comments to me, and I was like, oh my God, how did I walk right past that? So I'm literally like, is it gonna be here this time? Same pile of DVDs it looks like. Okay, where is it? Fucking God, there it is. Oh my God. Go hyperdrive. Oh my God, it's in a seal. Oh my God, it's in a seal. It's in a fucking seal.
This was a triumph. I'm making a note here. Huge success.
But then again, I guess I can say that for all these games because these are almost all from yard sales or flea markets. Just the way I like to do it. Just the way I like to build this massive collection. Moving right along, we've got a nice little section of PS5 games along with some World of Warcraft merchandise. You know, I'm a World of Warcraft mark, so that has to be represented on the shelf here alongside my own merch because you know I'm a mark for myself. You know I'm a mark for Thrifting Throwdown, and you've got to check out the Thrifting Throwdown beanie, the Thrifting Throwdown shirt on the Dabstroyero website. So seriously, if you think this beanie looks cool like I do, you've got to check it out on the website. But moving right along, we've got some PlayStation 4 goodness. You can see my PS4 collection is building up nice and quickly, and as I'm passing these games, you're also going to see all kinds of handhelds. Wow. One of the nice bonuses of going to yard sales, not only am I finding games, I'm finding so many dang handhelds. You're seeing red Game Boys, gray Game Boys, Switches, almost everything you can think of here in terms of handhelds, and literally every single one of these, except for my own original Game Boy, was picked up out in the wild. So amazing and a true testament to why we do what we do. But speaking of doing what we do, this is the collection I am most proud of at the moment, my Game Boy collection, because that last pickup, in addition to all the other games I've been picking up throughout Thrifting Throwdown, have built me a really respectable Game Boy collection. So many amazing games and so many of them complete in box, especially these Pokemon games. You're looking at Emerald version complete in box. We've got Fire Red version, Ruby version, money all day, and they are amazing additions to the collection, especially when you consider like this is a special edition that comes with a Game Boy Advance wireless adapter, so even more valuable, even more rare, even more special and important as part of this collection.
To protect the world from devastation, to unite all people within our nation, surrender now or prepare to fight. There's a whole new way to battle Pokemon, and it's wireless. Pokemon Fire Red and Pokemon Leaf Green are coming September 9th, each with a free wireless adapter. You can reserve your copy today and get a free pocket trainer's guide filled with hints, tips, and tricks to help you become a master of the Pokemon universe. Only for Game Boy Advance, rated E for everyone.
And moving right along, we've got our PlayStation games up on top. They did not move. For all the shuffling and reorganizing I did for this game room, the PlayStation games did not end up moving. They have their spot right there on top, and they are some of the top games in my heart, if I'm being honest, because I remember having so much fun playing the PlayStation 1. And when we're talking about what I remember, this is going to be one of my absolute most memorable pickups from Thrifting Throwdown. Spyro the Dragon, with the Toys R Us sticker still on it. This thing is sealed and new in case. This thing is brand new. I picked this up for $3, one of the absolute earliest episodes of Thrifting Throwdown. I went out and nabbed this at a local antique consignment shop. Amazing addition to the collection. So thrilled that I was able to rescue this and get it in a nice case protector, get it into the collection. What an amazing game. What an amazing addition to the collection.
Store's closed.
Not for me, pal. You might say I'm Spyro's hot co-star. I love that little dragon. The way he blows fire at sheep like me. This is an official protest. I am an anti-Spyro activist.
Genghis, come.
What'd you say?
You're toast.
Help me, PlayStation.
All right, so that wraps up that first section there. How is the room tour going for you so far? Having fun? Are you enjoying seeing my stuff? Is this Too slow, too fast? Let me know down in the comments, because who knows, I'll probably be doing another room tour in like a year or two, the way this thing goes. But moving right along, we've got our Xbox 360 collection, and you can see this is a massive pile of Xbox 360 games. It takes up almost an entire section all by itself here. You can see I've got a little bit of room to grow up at the top there, a little bit of space for more Xbox 360 games, but oh boy, they are filling up fast. Just like the PlayStation 2 games, which you can't really see at the moment because they are behind the TV stand. But suffice to say, the PS2 games are going from the top shelf up here all the way down, and then they also spill over into this extra section here.
Wow.
So needless to say, PS2 is by far the largest collection I have in here. So if you didn't know, you can actually see the entire collection on the Dabstroyero website. You can scroll through, see every single game in the collection, and you can see for yourself just how massive this ridiculous PS2 collection is.
Okay.
But again, I did plan ahead. You can see there's gaps in the shelf. There's room to grow because I wanted to give myself as much space to keep growing the collection as possible. And of course, another section with some room for growth is gonna be my Xbox section, the original Xbox section. You can see it over here. About half of what I've got for the Xbox 360 collection, not nearly as many games there, so a little bit of room to grow in that collection as well. But moving right along, this brings me over to my favorite wall in the game room, if I'm being honest. I love the way this wall turned out with this extra cutout section here in the middle, so I'm really excited to talk about this stuff. And maybe a little sneaky piece of information about something that went wrong when I was putting this together. But let's continue on along here. We've got the awesome Luigi Mario Kart Live Home Circuit set that I have played so many times. People love checking that out when they come over. It is so fun to race around the house with that set. And it looks great alongside my massive and continuously ever-growing Nintendo DS game collection. Just get a look at all these DS games. We've got so many 3DS games in there as well. Before moving down and getting to some of our loose cartridges down here, so we've got N64 stuff, we've got the PS Vita, we've got loose SNES games, we've got loose Atari games, which I've got a shocking number of loose Atari games down there. And surprise, surprise, I actually hid, and this is like some sneaky behind the scenes stuff for you, I hid the cables behind the VHS. Wow. So those are the LED cables back there. Can barely notice them. Can't really tell that they're plugged in back there. And I think that works out perfectly.
Oh, I see. Then everything is wrapped up in a neat little package.
Moving right along, we've got this nice little section in the middle here with the Xbox One games, the Nintendo Switch games, and our PSP games down at the bottom. A little bit of extra room to grow here, but you can see that PSP section is looking pretty dang full down there at the bottom. And you know, a little bit of behind the scenes gossip, when I was putting this together, originally it was designed a little bit differently. Originally, I don't know what I was thinking. I put that bottom shelf a lot closer to that heater down there, and let me tell you, my games were getting a little bit toasty on that shelf, so I had to do a quick bit of rearranging, did some research online, figured out, oh yeah, there is kind of a minimum gap you should use. So I got that all sorted out. The games do not overheat anymore. That is good to go. Which is perfect because I didn't want to end up with an entire collection of games melted into one giant horrible mess. Now, one of the other nice things about this middle section, I've cleared out some space here, so that gives me a lot of room to grow across this shelf here if I want, or I can use this as the display area. I can put video games there during the outros, so gives me a little bit of room to work with, and I really like that. But moving right along, we're gonna end up at the PS3 section over here, and I have a shocking number of PS3 games. So many more than, you know, I would have really considered until I did this project, but look how much dang space these PS3 games take up. This entire section almost by itself is PS3 games, which is just absolutely ridiculous to me. But you're also getting a view of some of the handhelds down there. I've got some cool random little, like, this is a space shooter, that's a soccer game. You got my stupid Sega Game Gear that never worked down there, and just so many other random things, especially some of these boxed Game Boys. Ooh, these things are so freaking cool. Game Boy Advance in the box. We've got this sick looking kiwi green Game Boy Color in the box. And then we've got this special Nintendogs edition Game Boy also in the box. And of course, I've got them all protected, so those things are gonna stay in great condition, just like all the other box stuff, because I really do take the time to protect every single one of these freaking things. Now, as we move along, we're gonna see one of my annoyances with my game room that I haven't sorted out, so I'm really gonna look for your feedback on this. In the comments down below, let me know your suggestions, let me know your thoughts, because I don't like this light situation I have here. So I've got this floor light, it plugs in The outlet controls the light, which is then controlled by the light switch here. I don't like that. I do not like this setup at all. So I need a different solution here. So if you've got any thoughts, let me know. But I'm going to move this light out of the way so we can take a quick look at the Wii collection here, along with some extra consoles that are shoved in here. We've got the black Wii, we've got the red Wii, we've got the blue Wii. I don't know if I'm going to be hanging on to those forever, but for now, I like the way they look on the shelf, so I am letting them stick around. Speaking of sticking around, we've got some toys hanging out over here, doing the good work of holding up these games. No easy task. They fall over randomly all the freaking time. But moving on to our last section here, we've got the awesome box retro stuff that we all love. You're seeing in the top row there, we've got a bunch of PC stuff, a bunch of random Atari, Commodore, all kinds of miscellaneous stuff. We've got television up here as well. Before moving on down into the Atari stuff, and you know, I don't have a ton of boxed Atari, but I do love the boxed Atari that I do have. There's some really cool stuff in there, some cool cover art. Like, who can go wrong with a game like Amadar? Check out the face on this gorilla. That is a face only a mother could love, and I should know I wear a lucha mask to cover my face.
Amadar, no like, you make fun of me face.
But now we're getting into one of my favorite sections because we've got the Nintendo 64 games and the NES games. Getting this stuff in the box is so dang rare, and honestly, most of these N64 games are from my childhood. These are ones that have hung around, stood the test of time. I haven't lost them, haven't thrown them out, because I have so rarely found them while out thrifting that pretty much, I think one of the only ones I've added is like Mario Tennis, and I think I added Waylay Golf, wherever that is. It's somewhere in here. Oh, there we go. Waylay Country Club Golf. That's one I picked up very cheap out at a yard sale. And some awesome NES stuff. Really curious, what is your favorite NES title in this mix? You know, the Turtles one jumps out at me straight away. Can't sleep on the Super Mario games, though. Those are always classics. But then again, maybe I should just stop right here. Legend of Zelda in the box. Whew, that is a thing of beauty. This is pure nostalgia. This is why we get up in the morning. This is why we get out. This is what we love about gaming.
Did you see the latest Nintendo newsletter?
Whoa, nice graphics. I'd like to get my hands on that game.
You mean you haven't played it yet? We can play it on my Nintendo Entertainment System. It's The Legend of Zelda, and it's really rad. Those creatures from Ganon are pretty bad. Octoroks, Tektites, Levers too. But with your help, our hero pulls through. Yeah, go Link, yeah, get Zelda.
Awesome.
Intense.
The Nintendo Entertainment System. Your parents help you hook it up. The Legend of Zelda sold separately.
Moving right along, we're finishing things off here with the Sega Genesis games in the box. What's going to jump out at me here most? I'm seeing Cool Spot. That's definitely one I remember playing a lot growing up, but Sega was never my console. That was one that I didn't own growing up, so I only have peripheral knowledge of these games. Like, I played Echo the Dolphin, I played Sonic. A lot of the other ones I probably haven't played. But then we get down to the Super Nintendo stuff, and let me tell you, I spent so much dang time playing Super Nintendo back in the day. This might be my favorite console of all time. I can't think of any other console that is as fun to sit down and play as the Super Nintendo. And of course, you're seeing some amazing titles here. You're catching Zelda, 2 copies of Zelda there. We got the Player's Choice Edition in addition to the regular edition. Killer Instinct jumps out at me. I love that game. Where is it? We got Turtles in Time. Oh, hi, Kara. You want to come check out the room tour as well? What are your thoughts? Do you like the new game room? Are you a discerning patron of this game room? Oh, okay. Well, see ya.
Well, that was rude.
How nice of her to stop by. But you're seeing some awesome games there, like probably the most valuable game in my SNES collection. Let me pull it out here. We've got Turtles in frickin' Time, y'all. Turtles in Time complete in box. That is a heavy hitter on the Super Nintendo. Also, heavy hitter in terms of being one of the best frickin' games of all time. Seriously, if you're like me and you put thousands of hours into this game, you've got to drop a comment down below because we are brethren. But yeah, one of many amazing Super Nintendo titles, and that is definitely a collection I can't wait to grow even further. All right, now this is gonna be a little bit tricky. We're gonna get behind the TV here because I do wanna show you a little bit of the cable management that we've got going on back here because I think I did a pretty good job. So what we're working with, we've got these plastic tubes. They're basically containing all the cables coming out from the back of the cover here on the TV stand. They filter up. They all go across here. I've got an outlet attached right to the dang TV stand. So no more running dozens of cables to the wall. I've got them all going straight to the TV stand, which, look, as you can see, there's one cable coming off the entire TV stand. One cable that powers all of this, so it's so easy to unplug it all when I need to. But yeah, if you've seen better cable management than that, you know, send it my way, but I am pretty dang impressed with how this turned out.
Oh, it's red wire to red wire. What idiot dreamed that up?
But I think that just about wraps up the game room tour. I had a blast not only putting this whole room together, I mean, take a look at what you're seeing here. I put together all of these shelves. I've got those Mario Pipe green pillars in the corners. I've got the brand new TV stand that I built from scratch. This was all done by hand by me. It took about a month. It was a ton of work. And honestly, I love the way it turned out. And I really hope you do too. But let me know down in the comments either way. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Seriously, let me know down below. And the other thing I really want to know, what would you change about the game room? What would you update? What would you improve? Where would you make your next move if this was your game room? Because now it's totally updated. I'm going to obviously be adding more games, but there's no reason I can't keep updating this game room or improving it. So if you've got any suggestions for me, seriously, let me know down below. Other than that, I'm excited to play some games in this new game room, and I'm excited to pick up even more games and add them to the game collection as well. So if you're not familiar with this channel, seriously, hit that subscribe button, stick around, because we go out game hunting and we find all these games on the cheap. But if you have been here for a while, drop a comment, say hello, hit that like button. I would definitely appreciate that support, just like I would appreciate your support on Patreon. By supporting me directly, you can help grow this game room and help grow this collection. So seriously, consider that. For as little as $1 a month. What have you got to lose? You can join all these fine folks who are already supporting this channel. And the other way you can support me is by checking out Dabstroyero.com, my very own website where I've got amazing merch like the aforementioned beanie, like the hat, like the pins. There's just so many cool things. You've got to check out that website. But I do think that's a wrap for the game room. I think that's a wrap for this LDAB blog episode. I've had a blast again. I hope you did as well, and I'll see you on the next one. Oh yeah.